My name is Elina. I am 24 years old. I live in a small apartment near the train station. The apartment is old. The walls are dirty. The windows make noise when the wind comes at night. I work in a small bakery. Every morning I wake up before the sun. I make bread and clean tables. The smell of warm bread fills the air, but my heart always feels empty. I have no parents. They died when I was young. I grew up with my aunt, but she became sick many years ago. Now she lives in a hospital outside the city. I visit her every Sunday. The hospital smells like medicine and sadness. My aunt always smiles when she sees me, but I know she worries about me. "Elena," she says, "you work too hard." I smile and hold her hand. "I'm okay," I tell her. But I am not okay. Every month I struggle to pay rent. Some nights I eat only bread and tea. Sometimes I sit alone in my room and listen to the sound of trains outside. I wonder if my life will ever change. One rainy evening, something unexpected happened. The bakery was almost empty. Outside, the rain hit the windows hard. I was cleaning the floor when an old man walked inside. He looked rich. His coat was dark and expensive. His shoes were clean. His hair was white, and he walked slowly with a black cane. Everyone looked at him. He sat near the window. I brought him tea. "Thank you," he said warmly. His voice was calm and gentle. I nodded and turned away. But after a few minutes, he called me again. "What is your name?" he asked. "Elena," I answered quietly. He smiled a little. "That name sounds beautiful." I felt strange inside. No man ever spoke to me like that before. He came again the next day, and the day after that, always at the same time, always alone. Sometimes he ordered tea, sometimes soup, but mostly he just sat quietly and watched the rain outside. One evening, he asked me to sit with him. I felt nervous. "You look tired every day," he said softly. "I work a lot," I answered. "Do you have family?" "Only my aunt." He looked at me for a long moment. His eyes were not cold like other rich people. They looked lonely. "My name is Victor," he said. "I lost my wife many years ago." I did not know what to say. For the first time in many years, I saw sadness in someone else's eyes that looked like mine. After that night, Victor started bringing me small gifts: a scarf for winter, fresh flowers, books. At first, I did not want to accept them, but he always smiled gently and said, "Please, let me do something kind." Weeks passed. People in the bakery started talking about us. One woman whispered, "That old man wants something." Another laughed. I tried to ignore them, but their words stayed in my head. One evening, Victor asked me to dinner, a real restaurant. I almost said no, but I had never sat in a beautiful place before. I had never worn a pretty dress before, so I said yes. That night changed everything. The restaurant was quiet and warm. Soft music played in the background. Candles moved slowly in the dark. Victor looked at me carefully. Then he said something that made my heart stop. "Elena, I want to marry you." My hands started shaking. I looked at him, but no words came out. Then he placed a small gold key on the table. He whispered, "This is the key to my house, and if you become my wife, everything I have will become yours." Outside, rain slowly touched the restaurant windows, and for the first time in my life, I did not know if I was hearing love or temptation. That night, I could not sleep. I sat near my window and looked at the city lights outside. The gold key stayed in my hand for hours. Marriage. The word felt heavy inside my chest. Victor was almost 40 years older than me. People would laugh. People would judge me. But another voice inside me whispered something painful. You are tired of being poor. The next morning, I visited my aunt in the hospital. She looked weak that day. Her hands were cold. Elina, she asked softly, why do your eyes look sad? I stayed quiet for a long moment. Then I told her everything. About Victor, about the proposal, about the house, about the money. My aunt listened carefully. Then she looked at me with tired eyes. Do you love him? She asked. I could not answer because I did not know. A few days later, Victor invited me to his home. His driver picked me up in a black car. I had never sat in a car like that before. The house was huge. Big windows, tall walls, beautiful gardens. Everything looked peaceful and expensive, but strangely, the house also felt lonely. Victor showed me the library, the dining room, the garden. Then he stopped near a piano. My wife used to play this every evening, he said softly. I looked at his face. For the first time, I saw real pain behind his smile. She died 10 years ago, he whispered. I still wait to hear her music. That night, my heart became confused. Victor was rich, yes, but he was also lonely, very lonely. Days passed slowly after that. Victor became weaker. Some mornings he couldn't leave his bed. I made soup for him. I read books beside him. Sometimes I brushed his white hair softly while he rested. One rainy evening, he held my hand. Elina, he whispered, do you regret marrying me? I looked into his tired eyes. Then I answered honestly. At first, maybe. I married you because I was tired of suffering. His eyes became sad. But then I touched his face gently. But now I stay because I love you. Victor closed his eyes. Tears rolled down his cheeks slowly. No one had ever loved him after his wife died, and no one had ever loved me so gently before him. Months later, winter arrived. Snow covered the garden outside. Victor became very weak. One night, he asked me to help him walk to the piano. His hands trembled badly. I want to hear music one last time, he whispered. I sat beside him. My fingers touched the piano carefully. I played the only simple song he once taught me. Victor smiled, a soft, peaceful smile. Then he looked at me one last time. Thank you for bringing life back into this house, he said warmly. I held his hand tightly. I love you, I whispered. And slowly, his eyes closed forever. Silence. After the funeral, people talked again. She got everything. She is rich now. But they were wrong, because the greatest thing Victor gave me was not money. It was love, real love, the kind of love that heals broken hearts. Months later, I turned Victor's house into a small music and art school for poor children. Every room became full of laughter again. Sometimes I sit near the old piano at night. I still remember his smile. I still remember the sound of his voice. And I always remember one important truth. A person can sleep in a golden house and still feel lonely. And sometimes the poorest hearts carry the purest love. My name is Elina, and I married a wealthy old man. But in the end, he was the one who made me truly rich.